Hello and welcome to this video in which I will be building and painting this Votoms Scopedog newly released kit, 2023 from Bandai. A mecha I always liked, but it was a bit hard to get hold on here in Europe, or you had to import it from Japan, and that was a little bit too expensive for me. Nice kit. A kit you can push and click together. No glue is necessary. I did use some glue in the end to hold it in position. Let's build. As I said before, it's only a question of nipping up the parts from the sprues, sanding, a lot of sanding, and pushing the parts together. And they will friction fit together. It's really nice engineered. The kit comes in 4 colored sprues, so you actually don't have to paint the kit. As you can see here, the light green, the olive drab kind of color, and a bluish and a gray tint. But I wanted to paint it and make another color scheme. I used Photoshop to design a color scheme, and I went through a lot of options. In the end, I decided on a color scheme based on dark yellow, with one shoulder patch in red. That's apparently a special kind of custom Votoms Scopedog version, so I made that myself. I spray painted all the parts in the main color, dark yellow. I also used surface primer oxide red, and for the weapons and feet I will be using Mr. Color navy blue. Then masked off some parts and sprayed the light gray pieces. And that was the base color done. Just putting it together to see how it looks and where I want to make some changes. And as you can see here on the left side of the tray, I scratch built a backpack because I didn't like the back of the Scopedog. You only have these hooks to hook on your weapon, so I scratch built a backpack from leftover pieces from a Scopedog my son built. So I used some parts like the feet and some parts for my spare parts box. From now on I will be brush painting everything, starting with the metallic colors. Onto one of my favorite parts of model building, putting on decals. The kit only comes with stickers for the visors, the scope on its head, but that's not enough for me, so I took a lot of decals from various kits, from tanks, old Nitto kits, Maschinenkrieger kits, and I put the decals on everywhere. I think it will look nice. And of course, my almost signature RSG triangle. The plastic part for the shoulder was still too shiny for my liking, so I sprinkled over some pastel colors and fixated them with enamel thinner to give a nice crusty rust look. Sponge chipping. My initial idea was to keep it fairly minimal, the kind of chipping and wear and abuse this Scopedog has. Maybe in the end it went a little bit too far. I did a little bit more than I first thought I would. Maybe someday I will make a kit that's more clean, but that was not this Scopedog. He was asking to be chipped. Oil dot filtering, a technique I use a lot because I use spray cans to get most of the paint on the model. You get sometimes a uniform color on the model, and with this technique you can make a lot of variation in the color to give it just small hints of visual interest. And normally I use way too much oil for a model, so I have to really go to town with the solvent to get it all off again. but this time it went pretty good. This is always a fun technique to accentuate the small lines and panels of the model. One downside is you have to clean it up afterwards because it's always too much. But in the end you'll have a much more interesting kit to look at. Final touches on the kit. I didn't use the stickers that came with the kit. The green and red stickers you can use for these scopes. Of course not, because I have clear paint and that always looks a lot better. I did go over it with clear varnish and that dulled it a little bit down, unfortunately. But still way better than the stickers. And every time I see this shot of his feet, I get really happy because I really like how this turned out. With the wash in all the nooks and crannies, the sponge chipping and scratching, and now the dusting. Yeah, really pleased. And this is the finished model. It was really fun to finally build a Scopedog. I hope to build some other Votoms eventually, but they are also not very available in Europe or a little bit expensive. I really like the series and it was fun to build something completely different. So I hope you liked the video and see you in the next one. Bye. Doei.